Here we are back with part 5 of the Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise by LEGO Pokemon. This is set number 72153, contains over 6,800 pieces. Retails for, no, my mind went blank, $649.99, and set was provided by the LEGO Group for review. Thank you, LEGO. And we're working on this guy today, and as you can tell, it's starting to look like him a little bit. We're missing some stuff here. We got the shoulders here. We got a spot for the neck and the body, and yeah, it doesn't look like much yet, but we're going to get there. And so far the build's pretty good. We're still holding at a 9.5 actually. Nothing's flaking off of this. This is built very good, very well. So in this installment today, we're going to be working on just the front paws. It's just going to consist of bags 13 and 14. I was trying to think of how I want to break this up, and I didn't want to do bag 15 because it's part of one of the legs. So I think I'm just going to do those in their own separate builds, just to kind of keep this simple, and plus smaller pieces are easier to digest. So what I'm going to be focusing on today is just bags 13 and 14, which is at the front paws. One goes here, one goes here. I'm not going to mirror them. I'm going to just do them in their corresponding bags. And I think that will just keep it a little more simple. And as far as for these videos, I will be dumping them in a playlist, so you'll have to check out the playlist. I still got to write it up because I only got one of these uploaded to YouTube. So there will be a playlist that you can follow along and keep tabs on what I'm doing. But before I can start building, let's go through the disclaimer real quick. These are not to be considered or construed as professional product reviews, how-tos, or tutorials. These are just merely my notes. I will try to cover everything in the build, but my elbow or my hands get in the way. I may end up putting pieces in the wrong place, so I've got to watch the video all the way through because I do correct the mistakes towards the end. And in addition, this is just a hobby of mine, not to be considered as a job. I'm not getting paid to do this. This is just something I just do in spare time. I do this for fun, actually. You know, this is not a full-time career. That's what software engineering is for. That's my day job. This is just a job that I can just sit back and relax and not even have to think about anything, just put it together. In addition, all the opinions in these videos are mine and mine alone. LEGO doesn't tell me what to say. They don't hand me a script. The commentary is just mine. Okay, except for that these are paid promotional videos. But now we can get into the build, which is my portion. Okay, well, let's begin. Let's build it, starting with bag 13. So I was thinking about how am I going to break this one down. I looked through the book and I thought, well, I'm just going to do the front paws in one installment, and left and right rear legs will be done in their respective installments. So there's going to be a little bit more, but the build size is going to be a little smaller, so I'm going to read ahead in these a little bit just to kind of keep everything kind of on the low here. I was on the ambassador thing about the rules that we have to follow, and it's a mess right now, and they're really not telling us anything. They're repeating themselves, and I really thought I need to know if I'm allowed to do certain things, but they're not telling me a whole lot, or anybody for that matter. They keep referring to their legal stuff, and I thought, it's like, oh, one of those days, huh? It's like anytime you get an attorney or somebody involved, they have to complicate it. So yeah, we got to make a couple of these that are mirrors. But yeah, I don't have a lot of these in magenta. But it's kind of more or less like a mess right now. So everybody's kind of like asking questions like, am I allowed to do this? Can I do that? And I'm just like, yeah, it's the same thing here. Legal advice. Oh, that's never fun, huh? I've dealt with attorneys before, and you know, they got to throw all their extra jargon in there that a normal human being can't understand. I mean, just don't make it wordy. Just keep it simple, and people would be fine, right? But that makes it too easy. Well, I noticed one thing, though, about this set. That it's very bright and colorful. Lots of bright colors. Look at all these colors in here. Look at this. This is like very basic colors. And they snuck them in here, too, which is really cool. Of course, it could be color-coded, but... Whoa. Make sure here. Okay, the hole goes at the bottom. Okay, see? Sometimes I make mistakes. Got to be very careful. Also, when you're doing these type sets, just build slow. Just take your time, no rushing through it. You know, I know you want to build it and see what it looks like when it's done. I do too, but then again, that would be spoiling the build. So I got 37 minutes on this card. It should be more than enough to finish this one up here. I think that's where I'm going to stop at for the day, and I got to do the educational set. Get that going. And then I can start editing files. As I need to get to editing. So like right now this counts as my third video for the day. That means I technically would be done, but I want to do the educational set. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything, so I have a little note that I write down like what score everything is and stuff like that for each build. All right, that kind of thing. We got to sneak a little orange in there, huh? These are nice, like a nice summer color. I just wish we had minifigures and stuff to go with this, like a little bonus item instead of just a brick-built statue that's just more or less just going to sit on a shelf. That's what these are, shelf queens. They don't really do a whole lot. They just sit on a shelf and look good. And to me, though, these kind of look more like a mock. What I can tell, everything looks like it's printed. So I'm assuming it's just you're basically building a mock. Like one of my builds. I did check with Lego about my building guides. They kept saying as long as it's not infringing the rights of something. And I thought, well, I own my own trademarks, but I do whatever I want with that. So I am... Oh, wait, I messed up here. Let me take that out. It's supposed to be a 1x2 plate in there. So I was like a few other people, I'm selling my own creations. Why does it matter if Lego should get involved or not? You know, because I use bricks to build a model. Then I take those bricks and convert it into a digital copy. And when I do the digital copies, there's no logo, there's no Lego logo except for real life photos. That's what I was worried about, because I take actual photos of my builds to show that it can be built with regular pieces. And I don't want to be where it's like, oh no, you're not allowed to do that. So I got to go in and take all those down, because none of my building guides use real photos, except for the advertising thing, you know. And it's going to get to the point of, okay, what do you do? Like, what do you do? So yeah, it's just kind of like a mess right now, but it's, you know, I can't really get into the details of what's going on, but all I got to say is that the new rules people are just kind of frowning on. So you want to be an ambassador? Lots of rules. I don't mind certain rules like leaks and stuff like that, but also some people are kind of asking questions. What if they get like a lighting kit? Are we allowed to use that? Can we use that in reviews, or we have to use it in our own builds? You know, Lego doesn't want us to use something else. You know, it's just confusing. So nobody knows what's going on. Huh? I guess it goes like that, but these... Oh, I'm missing steps. I am really messing up today, huh? Let me pop those out. Okay. Okay, so I got a lot on my mind, you can obviously tell. Now these are a nice piece to have. I need to get some of those in different colors. Those are good for vehicles. So anytime you think you mess up and you're not sure, you just stop. Back up and say, okay, did I boo-boo somewhere? Did I mess up? Did I smurf something up so bad that I'm going to have to take the whole thing apart? And so far, now it looks like the picture. So now I managed to get that done right there. Now I'll just take a break and back up here. Okay, let's see here. Now we are focusing on the back side. But they say if we mess up, they'll contact us first, and you know, I've heard that song and dance before. Oh, if something happens, we'll contact you and let you know. Contact me how, huh? With a notice in my mail saying I'm being served. But anyways, nobody cares about legal stuff because we're going to have fun today. We're going to be building things. Yeah, we're sure using a lot of these snot plates and brackets and stuff. Ooh. Yeah, we're using a lot of pieces here. I got a shave today too. That's like a chore in itself. I don't want to deal with that. I don't like facial hair. I try to scrape that stuff off as much as I can. I guess it's only one side. Yeah, but putting stuff together like this is always fun. And then showing you how to put it together, you know. Considering I'm the only YouTuber that shows you how to do this. Huh? Okay. It's supposed to be even there. Be careful. Almost made a mistake. And the bad thing about it is I think I feel a sneeze coming on. Isn't that cool? Stuffed up, allergies, sneezing, coughing. I'm not achy or anything. It's just, it's like, yikes. Okay, put those there. Okay, I see. And there's another one we're going to be building here in another installment. Or in the same installment. We're just doing the front paws today, nothing more. Alright. Let's see here. Looks pretty good. No, we're not done with it yet, obviously. But we got holes up here. Oh, I forgot to put these yellow plates in there. See? The set told on it told on me. Like, Jay, you forgot to put these parts here. Okay, I'll put them in there real quick. You know, hey, at least I'm honest with you. I make mistakes, you know. This is how it is. I don't lie to you. I make boo-boos. I got so many of these things here. Matter of fact, that's the next part that goes in. The toe of the shoe. Okay. Yeah, this set, though, you could tell somebody built this with a lot of care. But if I was like Lego and had all those extra parts, I'd do that too. Okay, after that. And yes, they usually give you extra ones of these. I've been seeing those a lot lately. And some of these little slope pieces for claws. Back in the old days, used to use the triangle, the cheese slopes, but now we're using these. Those I can always use. I'm starting to get a good collection of them now. Of course, you could put this piece in here, but I don't know how much clearance we're going to need. And that's what we have remaining there for bag 13. Now we have to install the foot. Well, that just came off. Was it just because I didn't put it in there, or it just fell off because it just being what it is? I think these are just I think they're just mirrors. So we got to pop it right in that joint there. All right, well, here we go. I'm going to put my thumb right here and just give it a good push. I'm going to grab it. Let me zoom this out. So I'm going to put my hand here, put this here, and I'm just going to put it in there. Just make sure it's set in there like that and pop it in. Okay, it's got a little bit of flexibility. Well, yeah, I mean, we got a leg in there, but that's, so far that's what we've done. Alright, I think we're going to wrap this up with 14 so I can keep it kind of more or less evened up here. And while I'm unbagging this, I want to thank everyone on my main channel for being contributors. It's always a big help. Especially my Patreon supporters. That's even better. In addition to that, I want to thank everyone for checking out my Rebrickable profile and all that stuff. You know, looking at my building guides. And last but not least, thank you everyone for, you know, supporting me through this journey by liking my videos, commenting, watching, especially those who are brave enough to watch all the way through. Even especially the hour and a half, 2 hour sessions get pretty brutal. So yeah. Well, let's get going here. Let's get this going here. Let's get it going. Wonder if I'm even allowed to do that now. Hey, you sound like you're not happy with the rules. Not really. Who likes rules anyways? I mean, I understand we have them, but when you're confused, it's like, I don't know if this is supposed to be a mirror, or is this a reflection, or it's a clone. Not quite sure. This one shouldn't take that long. At least installments now are a little bit more manageable. I like to try to keep them as short as I can, so you can easily digest the content better than just some big video that's almost the length of a full motion picture movie. I mean, is there people there who literally, well, that's not how that's supposed to go. So what am I going to do? That. Okay. And my nose is starting to run again. Isn't that cool? I still got to go up in the attic and fix that rattling pipe. I got to get some plastic because I can't use steel because I got copper pipes, and steel and copper don't get along very well because steel corrodes copper. So I can't just do what I want to do up there. I got to find something that will more or less like plastic. Maybe just use some plastic conduit pipes. Clamps would be better, and just screw them down. You know, in some of these houses they would just nail this stuff in or staple it in, and I like to screw my stuff in just in case. If I have to take it apart, I can just easily service it. You know, that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, but after this one I am going to have to stop because I do need to get on editing. Because right now this is technically my third video. I only like to film like 2 or 3 videos a day, no more than 5, depends on the length. And right now that kind of thing, and yeah. Okay, now it looks like we're focusing on the front here like we did the last one. This time I'm going to remember to put these in. I feel another sneeze coming on. And if I sneeze, I'll just edit that out. Yeah, but anyways, though, hope everything gets smoothed out where I don't have to deal with anything and just go on and stuff like that, because I enjoy building my own mocks. Now, somebody said, well, Jay, if you weren't doing reviews, what would you be doing? I'd be doing the big models again. Then I'd have a little bit more free time to do them. Okay. Hey, at least one thing though. You know, let's say, you know, oh, we can't do that, and they boot me out. These type of videos would stop. The only way I would do them if I buy a set that I'm interested in. That means content on this channel would just be far and few. But at that point, like, this is just more like a community type thing. You know, I don't have to do it, but I want to do it. You know, because they send me a set, why don't we just talk about it and discuss it and stuff. When it's my own stuff, I'm not obligated to do anything. I can just choose to do it or not do it. Here, LEGO doesn't tell me I have to do a build installment. They just want me to give my input on a set. I don't have to do much of anything. But I think what happened was a lot of people were abusing it in the past. If it's stuff that you buy with your own money, though, they don't care. How would they know? Because we have to share the disclaimer, unfortunately. So that's a paid thing. You see what I mean? And it gets kind of hairy. Okay. And then this goes here. Hey, see, I already have build experience on doing this, so now I'm not messing up as bad. All right. So it seems like every foot takes a little bit, probably about 10 to 15 minutes to put together. Hey, I remember these this time. Some of these steps only have one or two pieces. That's what's kind of dragging it out here. Like some of them have like two or three one or two pieces, and it just kind of gets to be a little dragged out here. Yeah, when I get done with this, I got to do an educational set. Get that going, so I can get at least something done here. I'll say, did I forget something there? I don't remember seeing that in the last one, or maybe I just breezed through it and didn't even notice. Oh yeah, now I remember where it goes. Okay. Okay, now we got to focus down here. You know what happens if you get banned out of the Ambassador Network and you're right in the middle of doing reports? Does that just stop and you give them back the partially built set? Never seen that happen before. Kind of curious what happens. They just say, "Oh, just keep the product." I'm not sure how that all works. And nobody knows. It's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I put these in here. Oh, wait a minute. There's some right there. How silly me. You know what I'm going to do? Put this one here because I'll forget it. You know me, I'll forget something, huh? I always forget things in these type of videos. Alrighty. Let me rotate it around. And what I'm craving for right now is barbecue. That does sound good. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned the date, but today is the 17th of April 2026, we're getting close to summer months. Not too fun. It's going to get hot and yucky, and I don't want to deal with the heat. Even if I got to pull and stuff, it's just the heat, and you got to get in the car, and when you get in, you got to flip on the air, and it takes time for that to cool down. All right. And after that, we're focusing up here. Now, sometimes I always wonder, like, why doesn't Lego just use, like, solid colors? But then again, I can see why they don't. It's like, why couldn't all this be medium azure? Well, then the build just gets boring. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. I knew I forgot something. I knew I was going to mess up on this one here. I got to put these caps in here now. Now I can proceed on. Well, no, not yet, because I can't get that in the right way. You know, speaking of runny noses, it seems like that was the only time I ever had a runny nose when I would go and take an exam. You know, especially if you have a disability, you had to go in the testing room. I don't know if it was something that they had in the air, but every time I would go in there, I would start getting a runny nose. And in those testing rooms, for some reason, didn't even have a clock in there, let alone a box of tissues. You're thinking for a college setting, you think they'd have that. Or instead I have to pay extra for tissues. And that's what we have remaining there for this installment in bag 14. I only got, well, 15 minutes left on this card here. I mean, I could probably fit another episode in on the next one, but I got to do a thing, and I'm kind of getting tired of sitting here just filming all day. Now we got to install the foot. So just like I did with the other one here, I'm just going to take the back of my hand, kind of cup that there a little bit. Stick this in here. I'm just doing it dry. Stick it right in that ball joint there. Take my finger and pop it in. Well, yeah, what does that look like? Nothing I've seen before, because we're not done with it yet. How heavy is this? It's starting to get some weight to it. Yeah. Summation of thoughts. Well, we're still at a 9.5. Nothing's fallen off. Maybe these claw pieces can get out of alignment. Now I'm going to say we're at a firm 9.5, which means that a few more points, I'll have to ding it down to a 9. But I'd say the build quality on this is really good. The build's keeping my interest. There's a lot of bright colors. And yeah, so in the next installment, we're going to be doing bags 15 and 16, which does one of the hindquarters back here. So I think the best thing to do is to focus on that. I could have mirrored these or reflect them or whatever. I didn't do that here. Let's just kind of keep this part here simple. But I mean, it's not that bad. This is a very interesting set. It's just pricey. Now, I wish we were just buying just this piece here. The stand I'm probably not going to keep. Okay, I don't care about the stand. But I probably will most likely keep these models. Since Lego doesn't want us to show other products in these type of videos, I don't know how I'm going to do that, because there's a product that I'm looking at to display these in that has a light and it's sealed. And they don't want us to do any other product reviews other than Lego. Well, Lego doesn't make a box to hold this stuff, and they don't make things to prevent dust from getting on this stuff. So that's where I'm having the problems. A lot of people are having problems with this. That's where the rules are going to shoot themselves in the foot. But anyways, though, back to the build. Yeah, I got to find a place to put this at when I'm done. I may have to put a towel over this to keep the dust on it. But it's coming out pretty good. But now I got to start hitting the education set a little bit, do another experiment on that. But yeah, the next installment we'll be focusing on bags 15 and 16. I need to put a bookmark in here. You know what I'm going to do real quick? Let's just do this. This is my bookmark for the day. Okay. And yeah, that concludes today's installment. So I'm done. I filmed 3 builds of this. Now I want to take a break, blow my nose, and do educational sets. But tell me what you think of this guy so far.